For women beyond 60, neglecting this food could mute your body's most essential feminine energy. Have you ever experienced this sensation of gradually receding into the periphery, first as perceived by others, and then, more distressingly, in your own reflection? For a multitude of women, this silent fading doesn't commence with a new wrinkle or a strand of gray hair. It originates from a place far more intimate, an unaccustomed dryness, a tension that defies simple explanation, or an increasing detachment from a dimension of yourself you once recognized so profoundly. And if you have registered that feeling, you are far from being alone. You might have attributed it to the passage of time, menopause, or accumulated stress. Yet, what if that unease was, in reality, your body's method of appealing for assistance? A subtle cry emanating from your circulatory system, signaling that the vital blood flow your pelvic tissues formerly depended upon is now diminishing. And along with it, your innate lubrication, your sensitivity, and your self-assurance. I am DrLilyStones. For over 3 decades, I have dedicated myself to helping women over 60 re-establish a connection with their bodies, revitalizing circulation, intimacy, and vitality through natural, evidence-supported methodologies. Today, I wish to present you with something of great power. Not just another cream, hormonal therapy, or high-cost procedure, but rather something already accessible within your own kitchen. Over the next few minutes, you will learn how specific common foods can enhance blood flow, bolster tissue health, and assist you in feeling comfortable, capable, and connected once more, all without medication. Before we proceed, I'd like to invite you to bolster your personal health journey by subscribing to our channel. Press the notification bell, ensuring you never miss an installment created precisely for women such as yourself. And if this particular message speaks to you, please leave a 1 in the comments section. If you are not yet certain, type 0 and let me know what you require. I am listening. Let's start with the inaugural food that could subtly alter how blood reaches your most sensitive tissues. Beets may not appear extraordinary, but they represent one of the most potent natural allies your circulation possesses. I wasn't always a believer myself, but I have witnessed the significant difference they can make time and again. A patient of mine, a 69-year-old retired librarian named Helen, visited me after incorporating a daily portion of beets into her diet. Her account was telling. The constrictive feeling she used to experience during intimate moments had subsided, dryness had lessened, her body felt more alive and responsive. This isn't merely wishful thinking, it is biology in motion. Beets are laden with dietary nitrates, which your body metabolizes into nitric oxide. This crucial molecule is vital for relaxing and widening your blood vessels, thereby permitting oxygen and nutrients to circulate unimpeded. As we grow older, particularly after 60, our body's production of nitric oxide wanes, leading to the stiffening and narrowing of blood vessels. The consequence is diminished circulation, decreased lubrication, slower arousal, and frequently, that indistinct, frustrating discomfort many women are led to believe they must simply endure. But you do not have to. A glass of beet juice in the morning, or several slices of roasted beets atop your salad, can jumpstart the production of nitric oxide. The transformation is nuanced initially. Perhaps a bit more ease, a touch more warmth, where it was once absent, because when blood flow is restored, so too is vitality. Your tissues become softer, more receptive, and more effectively nourished. This isn't about reversing the clock. It is about furnishing your body with what it requires to continue functioning beautifully. Now let us discuss a fruit you likely savor during the summer months, but may not be aware holds a concealed benefit for your vascular health. That fruit is watermelon, and it is so much more than a simple refreshing indulgence. Most people dispose of the watermelon's rind, but that pale section near the outer edge is densely packed with an amino acid named citrulline. Citrulline is a natural vasodilator, which simply means it assists blood vessels in relaxing and expanding. And that is critically important because when your vessels are constricted and rigid, blood has difficulty reaching the minuscule capillaries that nourish your pelvic region. The outcome is that profound, dull ache that women often characterize as tension or friction during intimacy. I will always remember Susan, a delightful woman in her late 60s who had become exasperated with how her body responded during moments of closeness. We collaborated on a straightforward plan. She began to blend both the red and white portions of the watermelon into her morning smoothie. 2 weeks later, she shared something wonderful. her natural lubrication had noticeably improved. That silent opposition, that persistent tightness, had eased, and she felt more like her authentic self again. Unlike hormone treatments or synthetic lubricants that offer temporary aid, watermelon supports your body's intrinsic capacity to deliver blood and oxygen to the areas that need it. It doesn't coerce, it restores, and it accomplishes this gently, safely, and naturally. But our exploration isn't complete. There is one additional food I want you to be aware of. It is frequently overlooked, yet it is filled with nutrients that can nourish your tissues, balance your hormones, and support your body's nitric oxide production from the inside out. We will delve into that next, in part 2. Let's discuss a diminutive food with monumental power: pumpkin seeds. These unassuming little seeds are often scooped out and discarded without a second thought. However, if you are a woman over 60, they could discreetly become one of your most steadfast allies in restoring comfort, confidence, and connection with your body. Pumpkin seeds are abundant in 3 crucial nutrients that specifically support blood flow, hormonal balance, and pelvic tissue health: magnesium, zinc, and arginine. Each of these elements plays a distinct role in keeping your most sensitive tissues nourished, supple, and responsive. Let's begin with magnesium. Magnesium assists your blood vessels in relaxing by calming the smooth muscle cells within their walls. This relaxation diminishes the tightness in your pelvic floor, a subtle tension many women experience but seldom discuss. That tension can transform intimacy from a feeling of closeness to one of discomfort. When your muscles relax, blood can flow without obstruction, and with that flow comes renewed sensation. Zinc is the second key player. Following menopause, your hormone levels undergo dramatic shifts. Zinc supports your body's innate ability to regulate those hormones naturally, and since hormonal imbalance can influence everything from lubrication to libido to mood, this single mineral can create a powerful ripple effect on your overall vitality. Finally, we have arginine, an amino acid your body utilizes to produce nitric oxide. Just as with beets, the nitric oxide produced from arginine helps to open up your blood vessels and deliver nourishing oxygen to the vaginal and clitoral tissues that require it most. I recall Carol, a retired nurse in her early 70s, who shared that she felt disconnected from her body, not in her mind, but physically. She was energetic and full of life, yet intimacy had devolved into a frustrating, empty experience. After incorporating just a tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds into her daily routine, sprinkled on yogurt or consumed plain, she returned to my office weeks later with tears in her eyes. The discomfort had diminished, her sensitivity had come back, and perhaps most significantly, she felt as if her body was listening to her once more. That is what I desire for you. Not merely relief from symptoms, but the quiet reassurance that your body still possesses the wisdom to thrive when it receives the correct support. Now envision this: beets boosting nitric oxide, watermelon relaxing your blood vessels, and pumpkin seeds nourishing your tissues at a cellular level. Separately they are potent, but together, they create something far greater, which I refer to as the circulation trifecta. Think of this process as being akin to tuning a piano. Each key struck alone produces a single note, but when played together, they generate harmony. That is precisely how these 3 foods operate, addressing the root causes of poor pelvic circulation from multiple angles in unison. Beets stimulate the production of nitric oxide, which is your body's signal to open the gates and allow blood to flow. Watermelon relaxes the vessels themselves, particularly the smaller ones that cater to the most delicate tissue. And pumpkin seeds supply the raw materials your body needs to maintain and amplify that flow, day after day. It's not about a singular superfood, it's about synergy, creating a consistent internal environment where your tissues remain soft, responsive, and well-nourished. I have observed this combination work for women well into their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. One woman confided in me that she had given up completely, convinced that the spark she once felt was simply extinguished. Within a month of adopting this circulation trio, her narrative changed. Not only did the physical discomfort abate, but she also felt a quiet confidence resurface. Her posture improved, her smile lingered, her sense of self returned, not due to a cream or a medical procedure, but because she provided her body with what it needed to heal itself. And that is what this approach is truly about: not chasing youth, not pretending time hasn't advanced, but nourishing your body in a manner that honors where you are now and what you still deserve to experience. However, if there is one lesson I've learned after 3 decades of working with women like you, it is this: knowledge is meaningless if it does not translate into action. And one of the most significant errors I see women make, especially after 60, is presuming that external solutions, creams, lubricants, or prescriptions, will resolve what is fundamentally an internal problem. This leads us to a challenging but honest reality. The majority of those temporary solutions fail to address the root issue. They only conceal it. In Part 3, I will clarify precisely why quick fixes often prove inadequate and how a simple modification in your daily routine can foster lasting change from the inside out. Over the years, numerous women have sat before me, frustrated and disheartened, not because they hadn't made an effort, but because their efforts had been fruitless. They had expended hundreds of dollars on creams, lubricants, and even hormone replacement therapies, hoping for a miraculous outcome. And while these solutions can sometimes provide temporary relief, they frequently overlook the more profound issue: the body is not broken, it is undernourished. You see, external fixes like lubricants can certainly alleviate friction in the moment, but they do not soften hardened blood vessels, they do not restore circulation, and they certainly do not bring back your body's natural capacity to produce nitric oxide or maintain hormonal equilibrium. At their best, they function like a bandage, concealing a deeper wound without facilitating its healing. The truth is, your tissues are asking for more than superficial care. They are requesting oxygen, minerals, and proper blood flow. They require the foundational nutrients that can only be sourced from within your body, not from outside it. That is where genuine change commences. What is heartbreaking is that many women start to believe that the failure of these quick fixes signifies that they have exhausted all their options. But that could not be further from the truth. Your body is not failing you. It is simply awaiting the appropriate kind of support. Think of it as tending to a garden. If your flowers are not blooming, you don't persist in spraying them with perfume. You nourish the soil. You provide it with water, sunlight, minerals, and time. And gradually the life returns. The same principle applies to your intimate health. You do not need to force results. You need to feed the system. And here is the welcome news. Feeding that system does not have to be complicated. You are already aware of the key ingredients: beets, watermelon, and pumpkin seeds. But now, it's time to transform that knowledge into a consistent rhythm. That is how your body thrives, not through magic, but through consistency. This is why I have crafted a simple 7-day action plan. It is designed for women who wish to feel a shift in their bodies, gently, naturally, and without being overwhelmed. And it begins with just 3 small steps each day. In the morning, commence your day with a small glass of beet juice, preferably on an empty stomach. This awakens your circulation and kickstarts your nitric oxide production, giving your blood vessels the signal to open and deliver oxygen to every cell that requires it. Mid-morning, prepare a watermelon smoothie using both the red fruit and the white rind. That is where the citrulline resides, the natural compound that relaxes those tiny tension-filled blood vessels. This helps to reduce that deep pelvic tightness many women describe, even if they cannot fully articulate it. In the afternoon, enjoy a tablespoon of raw, unsalted pumpkin seed. You can toss them into your yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or simply eat them as a snack. These seeds are performing the invisible, vital work, supplying magnesium to relax your muscles, zinc to support your hormones, and arginine to fuel nitric oxide from within. It might sound overly simplistic, but therein lies its beauty. True healing does not demand complex regimens, it demands the right input, delivered consistent. Pair this daily practice with light movement, proper hydration, and a measure of self-kindness, and you will be astonished at what your body can accomplish. One woman I worked with told me this routine became more than just a health plan. It became her daily act of self-respect, a reminder every morning and every afternoon that her well-being still mattered, that she still mattered, and that is what I want to offer you. Not just results, but renewal, a gentle return to the kind of vitality that feels honest, earned, and deeply empowering. In Part 4, we will integrate all of this. I will share a message from my heart, a reminder of what your body is still capable of, regardless of your age, and why this journey is about so much more than just blood flow. Before we close, there is something I want you to hear, not just with your mind, but with your heart. You are not invisible, you are not broken, and you are certainly not too old. I have spent more than 3 decades sitting beside women who were convinced their best years were behind them, women who felt as if their bodies had betrayed them, that intimacy was a closed chapter, or that their sense of self had quietly slipped away with time. But then, something shifted, not because of a drug or a quick fix, but because they made one simple, courageous choice: to stop accepting decline as their destiny, and to begin nourishing their bodies from the inside out. We have spoken about food, beets, watermelon, pumpkin seed. We have discussed nitric oxide, circulation, and hormones. But the true message here is deeper than biology. It is about remembering that your pleasure, your confidence, and your connection to your own body are not luxuries. They are not lost causes. They are your birthright. And yes, they are still within your reach. The grief that many women feel when their sensual vitality fades is often silent. It is not a topic for family dinners or shared with friends, but it lingers in how you move, how you breathe, how you perceive yourself in the mirror. So I want to offer you something different today. Not shame, not regret, not urgency, but permission. Permission to believe that your body is still capable of pleasure. Permission to nourish it with compassion.